Any more today?
In those words?
Yep, ma'am.
That's exactly what Kathy said when she got run.
Yes.
Well, we're joined by
Toss her.
We're joined by JMU head coach Mickey Dean, student athletes Megan Good, Jessica Mrozek, and Erica Field. Again, school record 49 wins, and JMU advances to their first ever Super Regional, where they will host LSU next week. Coach Dean will open us up with a statement, and then we'll open up for questions for Coach Dean and the student athletes. Coach, the floor is yours.
Again, what a great atmosphere. Our kids, both teams really played tough, and that's what you want to see in a championship game, and that's what you had today. You had two pitchers that were bulls in a circle. They got themselves out of trouble time after time. Somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. It's an amazing job what Kathy Riley has done with that Longwood program. Very proud to have two teams from Virginia playing in the finals here in the regionals. Extremely proud of that, and just proud of our kids because they grinded today. We haven't had to grind since that first game against Delaware, and today we had to grind, and we did, and we did, and we did. So proud of them.
You guys a power hitting team now?
We always have been.
No, what did you see on, I guess, Jessica and Erica's home run where they just...
They were line drives.
Yeah.
They were line drives, and that was the only way you're going to get the ball out of the park today, is if you had a line drive, because that wind was just beating it down, and they hit it just far enough and just long enough on a rope, and they got out of there. But there were some other hitters that put them in that situation by having really good at bats, and she had an easy first 3 innings, and then we started to battle and grind it in our bats. And so I think that's what we started to get to her a little bit, and we started to get some good swings on the ball.
You change your approach at the plate after the first 3 innings, or did it just take a while for the lineup to kind of settle in?
No, the only thing I told them was I felt like they were rushing their at-bats. They were hurrying up and, just making their at-bats really quick. And I just told them to calm down a little bit and kind of slow their at-bats down, see the ball. And they did a nice job, quick adjustment, and they did a good job.
Megan, they didn't hit a ball out of the infield against you. How much credit goes to the wind versus how well do you think you threw today?
I mean, I was definitely feeling good today, but I owe a lot of it to my teammates. I mean, it was a team effort out there today, and they had my back throughout the whole game.
Jessica, you told us yesterday that the confidence is what's helped you, get those big hits. How big is your confidence today?
Pretty big.
Big as your head?
Yeah. Before my at-bat, the inning before Taylor ended it, and before I even got up there, I was just like, I know I'm going to get a hit. I'm going to start this inning off. I know I have a job to do, and my job is to get on base, to have my teammates score me. So that's what my approach was before I even got in there. And so for me, I was mentally ready to go before I even stepped into that batter's box. And then, the umpire had a pretty wide strike zone. So for me, I wasn't going to let her take me out of my at-bat. So I was swinging at anything close, and then she just gave me a good pitch to drive.
Erica, you're the senior in this group. So how memorable is this win and this weekend in your career here at JMU?
Oh, yeah. It's the greatest feeling I've had since I've been here. It's such an intense game between two great teams, and we've been waiting for this a long time, 4 years. It's been our goal every year, and this year we finally did it, and we're willing to fight now, and we're not going to back down to anyone.
And one more for Coach Dean. You mentioned grinding. On paper, it will say that the team only allowed 2 runs in this entire tournament, but how challenging was this weekend? 3 different opponents and NCAA tournament atmosphere. How challenging was it?
Well, it's very challenging because all of a sudden, when you're playing the same team a couple of times, you can get in some type of rhythm. But when you're facing, I think we've faced 4 or 5 different pitchers. So now you're seeing, 20-some, odd-some hitters or pitchers are. And it was a good challenge for us, a real good challenge. And you take a look, Princeton's a scrappy team, but you take a look at North Carolina and Longwood, very good hitting teams. I mean, they're not average. They're very good hitting teams. They've got records out the wazoo for this year for their teams. So, I was impressed with the way our pitchers handled our defense. We could have had ourselves a real big mess. Was it that second or third inning? I forget which inning it was, where they had bases loaded, but they had first and third, nobody out. Bases loaded, nobody out. We get big strikeouts, big plays. It was a great challenge for us.
You talked during the week about the process of building the program and taking another step. How big a step is this to advance to a super regional?
Well, how big of a step is it? I think it's great for our program. As a coach, you sit back and we have seen all the teams across the country, and I've seen them. And so you know what you have. It's just a matter of getting through that, getting over that wall, and we got over it. So what's exciting for me, and I think for our program now, is to see how far we can take this at this point. All right, it's not new territory anymore.
For any of the players, the crowd, the fan support, what did you think of the turnout this weekend?
Amazing. Every single game we played was just amazing. They were always on their feet. They were always cheering. They pumped me up at times. I think they got us going a lot.
Oh, yeah, we owe a lot to them. I mean, seeing the line out at our ticket box 3 hours before our game, I mean, that's unbelievable. That's so cool to see.
And having them stand in the rain, I mean, they're very dedicated and loyal fans. So
Yeah,
it's
they,
great
when
community
it
support.
started raining, I was like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here?
They all stood
It
out
just
there.
kept coming in, just kept coming.
It was awesome.
Megan, did you want the ball today, and is this maybe the biggest game you've pitched? Is that an obvious question?
Yeah, I did want the ball today, and it was a really big game. They're a great offensive hitting team and defensive. So I mean, my goal was to just go out and attack them and let my movement take over.
Yeah. They took the lead there, and your defense wasn't playing perfectly today. Did you ever get tight, and were you just doing kind of your thing there?
I kept telling myself to stay within myself, just to do what I can do. Your defense isn't going to play perfect all the time. I mean, we definitely strive for it, but I mean, once those things happen, all you can do is get them in the circle, have a huddle, tell them deep breath, and just keep going pitch by pitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we can do.
Have you ever?
Coach, going back to that crowd conversation, this is home for both of you guys. Is it extra special to do this and have a game like this in front of the fans and the stadiums you kind of grew up around?
Absolutely. Well, I say it over and over and over. People just don't understand how good the softball and baseball and how big it is in this area. And I've always said that if you put together a good team, a good product, you won't be able to put enough seats out there. I mean, because they're just going to keep coming, and that's our job. Go out, compete, and I mean, it's fun. It's fun. That's why I like the seats in the outfield. I like the full circle. It's like playing in an arena. You talk about Game of Thrones. But it's like being in an arena. It's an awesome feeling. Awesome feeling. If I'm the coach and I'm getting goosebumps, I'm 50-some years old, and I've played all my games that I'm going to play. But it gives you goosebumps to walk out there and see that, and then know that it's yours. It's your crowd. You're not going somewhere else. This is here. And I'm so proud of these young ladies because they're the ones that have brought this into this program, and it's exciting.
Megan, I was just going to ask, when you're 3 outs away there in the 7th, are you feeling any pressure? Are you throwing harder in that inning? How's it kind of feel?
I mean, I would say not really just throwing harder, but just keep doing what I've been doing. Coach Dean before the inning, he's like, stay focused, stay focused. So, I mean, that's what I was trying to do. Take a deep breath before each one, relax my muscles, and just go out, attack the batters like I have been doing all the game, and just go at them.
Yeah. Erica, your home run, you seem pretty jacked up on that. I mean, you sped around the bases there. Was that
Coach saying our home run try, and she's still just.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I guess you just hit a line drive. Is that kind of just ran into one there?
Yeah. To be honest, I was looking for something up in the zone that I could get into, and I was just trying to be patient, waiting for her to come to me. I took 3 balls, and I knew she was going to come right at me, and that's my favorite pitch is that up pitch, so I was excited.
Yeah. I was just going to ask
Don't
you about.
tell people that. It's a secret.
Gave away the scouting report. Can you kind of describe Megan's effort today and what, from behind the plate, what kind of game she had today?
Oh, yeah. She was focused every second of the game. You could just see it in her demeanor and her eyes, and she was ready to fight. And no matter what happened in that game, no matter what happened on defense, she wasn't going to let it affect her. And her pitches were moving really well, and they couldn't touch her rise ball today.
Did it take some time to adjust to that strike zone? Because I know both sides were kind of all over them. Did it take time for you guys to adjust to that?
Yeah, it did, but that's what happens, throughout the year. You're going to get umpires who widen
Have
that
different
strike
strike
zone.
zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have different strike zones, and so you have to adjust as a hitter.
Yeah.
And not get outside of your game. And that's what we talked about too. Is don't get outside of your game. Still stay within your game. You're still going to get your pitches to hit. And it wasn't like the game was being called one way or the other. It was just being called, and we had to play that game.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about the defense. You didn't play perfectly today. Was
No.
it kind of overcoming that in a sense to pull this out today?
It's like I've said all year, we can overcome a mistake. The time that they scored, we had 2 mistakes, and they scored a run. We know that's going to happen. We got through it, and that's just the way the game is. It bounces funny sometimes, so we just move forward.
When you look at your next opponent, Coach said that he talks to you guys about the process, and so that College World Series isn't a fantasy, it's a goal, and you know what to work to how to get there. Does it seem very attainable, more attainable now that you're where you are?
I think we have to take it one step at a time still. I mean, it's our goal, and I think we can accomplish it, but it's one step at a time, one game at a time, one pitch at a time. So I just think we just need to focus on that and not get ahead of ourselves.
You can't think about the World Series. It's just like coming into this weekend, or even last weekend, the CAA tournament. You can't go in thinking about what's going to happen 2 weeks from now, because you don't have any control over that. Take control of what you have control over. You have the great teammates around you, and just grind it out. Grind it out. See who's willing to grind, because that's hard to do. I think we all know that, and this team has done a great job of that.
I know in a sense those weekends in the CAA are essentially 3-game series, but does your pitching line you up to perform well in a series kind of like that?
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. What do you know about LSU? I know you
They're
keep
really
track
good.
of the national scene.
I know Beth. I've known Beth for
You know
a very
them, okay.
long time. They're a great team. They're a great team. But so are we. So we're going to play, and it's going to be fun. And we're gonna throw our best at them, and they're going to throw their best at us, and we're going to grind, and we're going to see if they're willing to grind.
How do you top the atmosphere this week? I mean, are you looking to get more fans in here? There's obviously a demand for this kind of thing.
I say just keep putting bleachers out there, and they'll keep coming. Right, Mr. White?
Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.